Have you ever felt that something inside you is waiting to awaken? I'm not talking about a superficial dream, like wanting a better job or a bigger house. I mean something deeper, something that vibrates in your soul. And when you find it, it fills you with a peace you can't explain. Stay with me because today we're going to unravel a secret that Carl Jung, the genius of deep psychology, discovered decades ago. When true love appears in your life, and I'm not just talking about romantic love, but love for yourself and for who you really are, you'll feel an inner peace that transforms everything. But here's the catch. It's not something you look for outside. It's not in another person or a perfect moment. It's inside you, and Jung knew exactly how to guide us toward it. Are you ready to uncover it? Because this isn't just a video, it's an invitation to change your life. Imagine for a second that you're walking through a dark forest. There's fog, the air's cold, and you don't quite know where you're going. Suddenly, between the trees, you see a soft, warm light calling to you. It's not bright or dazzling, but it makes you feel safe, at peace. Exactly that, is what Jung described as the encounter with your true self, that place inside you where authentic love resides. But here's a truth few want to hear. Reaching that light isn't easy. You have to cross through the darkness, face your fears, your doubts, and those parts of yourself you'd rather hide. Jung called it the shadow. And believe me, when you understand what it means, you'll never see your relationships or yourself the same way again. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that, even though everything seems fine in your life, there's an emptiness you can't name? Maybe you have a decent job, friends who love you, even a partner who seems to fit, but something's missing. There's a restlessness, a little voice whispering inside you saying, "This isn't all I am." If you've ever felt that, you're not alone. I've felt it too, and Jung would say it's not a flaw, it's a sign. That discomfort is your unconscious speaking, trying to guide you towards something bigger, more real. Because according to him, the human soul isn't designed to settle for a half-lived life. It's designed to seek wholeness. And that wholeness only comes when you dare to truly look at yourself. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you ignored that inner voice? Maybe it was in a relationship where everything seemed perfect on the surface. Laughter, plans, pretty photos for social media. But deep down, something didn't fit. You felt a knot in your stomach, a sense that you were playing a role instead of being you. Or maybe it was a decision you made because it was logical. Staying in a job that doesn't excite you, keeping friendships that drain you, or even pushing down a dream because it's not the right time. Jung taught us that those signals aren't random. They're your unconscious shouting, "Listen, there's something you need to face here." And here's where his most powerful idea comes in. The unconscious doesn't speak in clear words like I'm doing with you now. It doesn't send you an email saying, "Hey, this isn't for you. Let it go." No, the unconscious is subtler, more poetic. It communicates with symbols, with emotions, with those gut feelings you can't explain but feel in your bones. Has it ever happened to you? That intuition telling you someone isn't good for you even though you have no proof? Or that spark of excitement when you think about something you really want to do but push aside because it's not realistic? Jung would say that every time you ignore those signals, you're disconnecting from yourself. And that disconnection has a price. You lose your peace, your energy, and little by little, your ability to truly love. Let's talk about love for a second, because this video is called When True Love Appears. You'll feel this inner peace, and I want you to understand what Jung means by this. For him, love isn't just a romantic feeling, though. Of course, it can include that. True love starts with you. It's the love you give yourself when you decide to respect your boundaries, when you look in the mirror and accept even the parts of you you don't like. It's the love that blooms when you stop betraying yourself to please others. How many times have you sacrificed what you really feel to keep the peace with someone else? I've done it, and I bet you have too. But Jung tells us that's not the way. True love, the kind that brings peace, is born when you align with your essence, when you stop fighting who you are. Now imagine this. You're standing in front of two paths. One is full of lights, clear signs, and lots of people walking in the same direction. It's the easy path, the one everyone applauds. the one that makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. The other is dark, full of shadows, and you don't see anyone else there. It's scary, right? Most of us choose the first one because we like what's safe, what's familiar. But Jung would say that true love for yourself and for others is on that second path. Why? Because that's where you meet your shadow, that part of you you've been avoiding your whole life. The shadow isn't something bad, though it sounds ominous. It's everything you repress, your insecurities, your anger, your secret desires. It's that part of you you don't show on Instagram, that you don't even tell your best friend. And here's the secret Jung wanted you to understand. The more you ignore your shadow, the more power it has over you. Have you ever snapped at someone over something small and then wondered, God, where did that come from? That's your shadow. Or when you find yourself stuck in a relationship that drains you, but you can't let go because you're afraid of being alone. That's your shadow whispering from the depths too. I'm going to pause here and ask you to breathe with me. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Feel the air coming in and out. Did you notice that moment of calm, that connection with yourself? That's what Jung wants you to reclaim. But to get there, you have to be willing to look at what you've been avoiding. And yes, it's scary. It scared me too. But I promise you something. On the other side of that, fear is the peace you're searching for. The peace that comes when true love, love for yourself, starts to bloom. So what does all this have to do with relationships? A lot. Because according to Jung, the people you choose to have in your life aren't an accident. They're mirrors reflecting parts of you that you need to see. Before we go further, I want to tell you that my book is now available. It's full of tips and techniques to help you overcome blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and the pinned comment. Let's continue. Think about someone who drives you crazy. Maybe it's a friend who's always late or a partner who doesn't seem to get you. What bothers you so much about them? Jung would say it's not just about them. It's about you. Maybe that friend who's always late reminds you how hard it is for you to set boundaries. Or that partner who doesn't understand you is showing you how disconnected you've become from your own needs. For Jung, relationships are a dance between your conscious and unconscious. And true love only appears when you're willing to dance with both parts. Let me tell you something personal. A few years ago, I was in a relationship that seemed perfect from the outside. We were the couple everyone envied. Trips, photos, laughter. But inside, I was exhausted. I felt like I had to be someone I wasn't to keep it alive. And every time I tried to talk about how I felt, I found myself justifying it to myself. That's when I decided to let go. It wasn't easy. I cried, I doubted, I felt lost. But little by little, I started to feel that peace Jung talks about. Because by letting go of what wasn't for me, I gave myself space to find myself. And you? Is there something in your life you're holding on to even though it weighs you down? A relationship? A job? A belief about yourself that no longer represents you? Stay with that question for a moment because we're going to explore it deeper. But first, I want you to know this. You're not here by chance. And if you give me a few more minutes, I'll show you how Jung's ideas can transform not just your relationships, but the way you love yourself. So breathe again and let's keep walking this path together. Well, here we are again, you and I, exploring the depths of what Carl Jung left us as a map to find true love and that inner peace we all crave. If you've stayed with me this far, it's because something in you is resonating, right? That feeling that there's more to life than what you've been told, than what you've lived so far. And you're right. Jung wasn't just a psychologist. He was a guide, someone who understood that the human soul is a vast universe full of mysteries, and that within that universe lies the key to feeling complete. So grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable, because now we're going to dive even deeper into how true love appears in your life when you start truly listening. Think about the last time you felt real peace. I'm not talking about a moment of distraction, like watching a show or eating something tasty. I mean that peace that wraps around your chest, that makes you sigh and say, everything's okay. When was it? For me, it was an ordinary day, sitting on my balcony looking at the sky, and suddenly realizing I didn't need to chase anything or anyone to feel at home. Jung would say that moment wasn't a coincidence. It was my unconscious telling me, you're on the right path. And what I want you to understand is that that peace doesn't depend on someone else or an external achievement. It depends on you, on how you relate to yourself and others. Let's talk about relationships because if this video is about love, we can't ignore them. Have you ever been with someone who makes you feel like you have to prove something all the time? Like your worth depends on how much you give, how hard you try? I have. And for a long time, I thought that was normal, that love was sacrifice, that I had to earn it. But Jung taught me something different. He said that relationships worth having, the ones that bring true love, don't ask you to betray yourself. On the contrary, they invite you to be more you. How does that feel to you? Think about the people around you right now. Do they inspire you to grow, to be authentic, or do they make you feel like you have to wear a mask? Here's where another key concept from Jung comes in: projection. According to him, everything you see in others, what you love, what you hate, is a reflection of something inside you. This is big, so let me explain it slowly. Imagine there's someone in your life who drives you up the wall. Maybe it's a coworker who's always competing or a family member who never listens. What do you feel when you're with them? Frustration? Helplessness? Jung would say those feelings aren't just about them. They're a window into your shadow, into those parts of you you haven't accepted. Maybe that competitive coworker bothers you because deep down, you also want to stand out but are afraid to admit it. Or that family member who doesn't listen reflects how sometimes you ignore your own needs. This isn't to blame you, it's to set you free. Because when you understand that relationships are mirrors, you start to see them as opportunities. Every person who comes into your life, good or bad, is a messenger from your unconscious. And true love appears when you stop fighting those messengers and start listening to what they have to tell you. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting the same type of people? Those friendships that let you down? Those partners who don't value you? It's not bad luck, my friend. It's your unconscious showing you a pattern, begging you to see it, to heal it. I'll be honest with you. For a long time, I attracted people who made me feel small, friends who only reached out when they needed something, partners who left me doubting my worth. And I'd spend hours wondering, what am I doing wrong? Until I read Jung and realized it wasn't about them. It was about me. There was a part of my shadow I hadn't faced, the belief that I didn't deserve unconditional love. And until I worked on that, my unconscious kept bringing people into my life to remind me of it. Does that sound familiar? What patterns do you see in your relationships? Take a second to think about it, because this could be a turning point for you. Now here's the good news. You can change those patterns. It's not magic, it's not a trick, it's an act of courage. Jung said that integrating the shadow, accepting those parts of you you've denied, is the first step toward wholeness. And when you reach that wholeness, true love starts to show up. Not because the world changes, but because you change. You stop looking outside for what you already have inside. And the relationships you build from that place are different. They're deep, authentic, full of peace. Let's talk about self-love for a moment, because for Jung, that's the foundation of everything. How do you treat yourself? Be honest. Do you speak to yourself kindly, or do you criticize every mistake? Do you let yourself rest, or do you push yourself to exhaustion? I used to be my own worst enemy. I'd look in the mirror and only see flaws. I'd say things to myself I'd never say to a friend. And then I'd wonder why I felt so empty. Until I understood something Jung repeats over and over. You can't love anyone more than you love yourself. And you can't receive love if you don't believe you deserve it. So what does it mean to truly love yourself? It's not just taking a bubble bath or buying something nice. Though that's okay too. It's respecting your energy. It's saying no when something doesn't feel right, even if it's uncomfortable. It's letting go of those people who drain you, even if you love them. Because your energy, as Jung said, is sacred. It's the fuel for your dreams, your relationships, your life. And when you protect it, you're telling your unconscious, I matter. I deserve to be okay. When was the last time you put yourself first? Think about it. Let me tell you something that happened to me recently. I was in a friendship that drained me. Every conversation was a whirlwind of complaints and drama, and I'd come out of it feeling wrung out. But I stayed because I thought, well, she's my friend. I have to be there. Until one day reading Jung, I asked myself, What part of me believes I have to carry this? And the answer hit me. A part of me felt my worth was in being useful to others. So I set a boundary. I told her I needed space, with love, but firmly. And you know what happened? Not only did I get my energy back, but I started attracting people who added to my life, not subtracted from it. That's the power of aligning with your truth. And you, who in your life is draining you? You don't have to answer me now, but ask yourself that question quietly. Because when you let go of what doesn't serve you, you make space for true love. And I'm not just talking about a partner. I mean friends who lift you up, projects that excite you, moments with yourself that fill your soul. Jung would say that's the love that brings peace, the love that appears when you dare to be who you are. Let's pause here. Breathe with me again. Inhale, exhale. Feel your body relax. This isn't just a video, it's a journey. And what's coming next is going to be even more powerful because we're going to talk about how the universe responds when you decide to live from your authenticity. So stay with me because the best is yet to come. We've reached the final stretch of this journey, and if you're still here with me, it's because something inside you is ready to take one more step. We've talked about the shadow, about relationships as mirrors, about self-love as the foundation of everything. But now I want to turn up the volume for us to feel together how Carl Jung's ideas aren't just theory. They're a practical guide to transform your life. Because when true love appears, and yes, that love that gives you inner peace, it's not an accident. It's the result of aligning with your essence, of listening to your unconscious, and of daring to let go of what no longer belongs to you. Are you ready to see how the universe starts conspiring in your favor? Let's go. Imagine your life is like a river. Sometimes it flows calmly. Sometimes there are storms that shake everything. But according to Jung, that river isn't at the mercy of chance. It's connected to something bigger, your inner world. Everything you experience, the people you meet, the challenges you face, the joys that surprise you, is a reflection of what's happening inside you. Jung called it projection, but he also talked about something even more magical: synchronicity. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just falls into place? You meet someone right when you need them. You find an opportunity that seems tailor-made for you, or you feel an inexplicable urge to do something, and it turns out to be the right move. That's synchronicity. And for Jung, it's proof that you're in tune with your true self. Let me tell you a quick story. A few months ago, I was at a low point. I felt stuck, like my life was a circle I couldn't break out of. One night while reading Jung, I decided to do something different. I wrote on a piece of paper everything I wanted to let go of: toxic relationships, fears, that little voice telling me I wasn't enough. I burned it, yes, literally, and said to myself, I'm ready for something new. The next day, I got a message from someone I hadn't seen in years, someone who offered me a project that fit perfectly with my dreams. Coincidence? Maybe, but Jung would say no. He'd say that when you align with your truth, the universe responds. And I believe it. What do you think? Have you had moments like that? Here's the trick. Synchronicity doesn't show up if you're clinging to what doesn't serve you. It's like trying to hear a beautiful melody while there's background noise. You have to turn off the noise first. And that noise can be lots of things. A relationship that weighs you down, a job that dims your light, even a version of yourself you've outgrown. Jung invites us to let go, not to give up, but to trust. Trust that by releasing the old, the new has room to come in. And when it does, it brings that peace you've been searching for. Let's talk about relationships again, because the true love Jung points to isn't about finding the perfect person. It's about being ready to receive them. How many times have you been in a relationship where you feel like you're swimming against the current? All that effort, misunderstandings, arguments that go nowhere? I've been there. And for a long time, I thought the problem was the other person. But Jung opened my eyes. Those tough relationships aren't punishments. They're lessons. They're your unconscious saying, look at this. There's something you need to learn here. Think about someone you've had a complicated relationship with. What did you feel? Frustration? Pain? Now ask yourself this. What part of you was that person reflecting? Maybe they showed you how hard it is for you to set boundaries, or how you hold on to someone out of fear of being alone. When you see it that way, it stops being personal. It's not that they're bad, it's that they're here to help you grow. And true love appears when you integrate that lesson, when you say, I don't need to repeat this pattern anymore. Then suddenly you start attracting people who resonate with who you really are. I'll be straight with you. Letting go isn't easy. It hurts, it makes you doubt, but it also sets you free. I remember when I ended that relationship I told you about earlier. The first few days were emotional chaos. I felt alone, lost, like I'd made a mistake. But little by little, I started to notice something. My energy came back. I slept better. I smiled more. And ideas for my channel, like this video, started flowing. It was like by letting go of what wasn't for me, I gave my true self permission to shine. And that's what I want for you, to feel that freedom, that peace. Now let's talk about your dreams, because true love isn't just about relationships with others. It's about your relationship with yourself and what you want in life. What dreams have you put on hold? Maybe you wanted to write a book, travel, start a business, but something or someone made you feel it wasn't possible. Jung believed our dreams aren't random. They're messages from the unconscious, clues to our purpose. And when you ignore them, when you let outside noise drown them out, you're betraying yourself. Think about this. What would you do if you weren't afraid? If no one judged you? If failure didn't exist? I used to dream about making videos like this, but I'd tell myself, no one's going to listen. I'm not good enough. Until one day, inspired by Jung, I decided to try. And here we are, you and me, connected by these words. That's what happens when you dare to follow your inner voice. True love for what you do, for who you are, starts to take shape. And with it, peace. Here's a tough question. What are you sacrificing to keep things as they are? Your happiness, your health, your time? Because every time you choose to stay in a place that doesn't fill you up, you're telling your unconscious, I don't deserve more. But you do deserve more. You deserve relationships that lift you up, dreams that excite you, a life that makes you feel alive. And Jung gave us the tools to get there. Listen, face, let go, trust. So what are you going to do today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with someone. Maybe it's writing down that dream you've been putting off. Or maybe it's just looking in the mirror and saying, I'm ready to love myself for real. Because when you do, the universe will respond. The right people will show up. Opportunities will appear. And that inner peace Jung promised will be yours. Breathe with me one more time. Inhale, exhale. Feel how this moment is yours. This video doesn't end here, because the change starts with you. And now comes the most important part. I want you to be part of this. If these words touch something in you, share them. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone searching for that peace, that true love. Leave a comment below and tell me, what are you letting go of today? What part of yourself are you ready to embrace? Your words don't just inspire me, they inspire everyone in this community. Subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell, because every week I bring messages like this, designed so we can build more authentic lives together. Thank you for being here, for listening, for being part of this family. Life is full of possibilities, and you have the power to choose how you want to live it. Do you dare to discover the love that's already inside you? Do it, because the world needs more people like you. Brave, authentic, full of light. See you in the next video. Remember, the change starts with you. I'll be waiting for you.